2 hospital visits, the weirdest spa ever, and Richard Marx. I'm Lauren Zima, and it's time for Roses and Rosé. Hi, you guys. Oh, thank you so much for joining me. We are here to recap episode 3 of Becca Kufrin's season of The Bachelorette. Let's get into it just as quickly as David probably got into that ambulance. So, wow, so much to digest, you guys. I thought we started off strong with Jordan picking a fight by saying David walks around, quote,
cooking scrambled eggs all day.
But things only escalated from there. Why is that something to get mad at someone about? That he's cooking a lot of eggs. I don't know. Whatever. Don't drink every time Jordan makes a comment because he's great TV and you'd be on the floor.
David, he's a dry chicken. As long as I stay charismatic, I think that Becca's gonna keep me around. Maybe being me is gonna win me the rose tonight.
Thanks, George. So the group date is announced and Colton's hoodie is up. And you know that when a guy's hoodie is up, he's feeling down. He's sad because he told Becca about Tia and now he thinks him and Becca are not connecting. And you know what? Then I realized all the guys are in sweatshirts because it's raining. And hey, men, dress for the job you want, not the one you have, and the job you want is to be Becca's man. That's some life advice. So Becca's girls are here to hang, and we talked to Tia about Colton, and this got weird. Because I love all these women, and I love Tia, but Tia was pretty much flat out saying that she thought Colton dated her because...
Was he thinking that also you might be the Bachelorette?
What? What? What are those motives, Colton? What? I think if you really liked someone, you would say, please don't be the Bachelorette. I want to date you. So why was he doing that? He was dating her thinking she was going to be the Bachelorette and he was going to go on the show. I don't know. We'll see.
I question if Colton truly signed up for this because he thought Tia might be the Bachelorette.
So they're doing a spa day, and that's just about as weird as everything that Tia had to say about Colton. You guys, what was this spa? We saw some signage, like dressing rooms this way. What spa has a dressing room? This isn't a theater. You go to the locker room. Then there was some sugar scrub that looked like pudding. Becca was wearing a swimsuit for some reason. And then, you know, drink every time you saw a spa thing that wasn't a real spa thing. The women were putting their feet into what looked like tubs that you would use for chips for an outdoor party from Target. Did somebody go to Target for this date? It felt like someone was sent to Target for this date. And you know what? I don't need for a man to paint my toenails. You're probably going to do a bad job, and it's not sexy and we're not in middle school. So I don't really like anything about this date. It was a lot of touching, though, and I want to commend the producers on putting Tia and Colton together in a room and then immediately making everyone touch. That was so awkward.
Jason.
Oh my God, Jason.
So Becca forgot someone's name, Jason's, and I want to commend the producers. Drink every time we want to commend them. God, we love them. For showing that moment. The leads probably forget the names all the time. All the time. And Becca says she's so happy she
Shaved my legs today.
Haven't we all been there? Like, I'm so happy I put on deodorant today because I flew here from New York earlier. After the Tonys. Check out all the coverage at etonline.com. Not related to The Bachelorette. Shameless plug. And don't worry. I'm just getting started with the musicals because we all know what happened later in this episode.
I really like Jason. He is so cute.
Becca is into Jason, and let me know what you guys thought. Were you surprised by this? I was. I did not see this coming. She told him...
I have a little crush on you.
She's got some unexpected taste, but I think in the end the beefy guys are going to win out because that's what her ex Ross from You Know Who's season looked like, and that's what her friends have told me she's into. And so sometimes physical type matters, aka why Colton's still around. Anyway.
I got a notification one day. It said, congratulations, you've reached 4,000 matches on Tinder in 2017.
Drink every time Jordan says something weird. Don't do it. Oh, then Jordan says,
You're a
and
silver spoon hanging out of my
not the phrase, babe. I'm drinking this real slow because it's sparkling. Shelby, drink your juice. Put the name of that movie in the comments if you know it.
It's been a pleasure.
I also want to say, let's drink every time one of the guys was just sitting there trying not to laugh at Jordan and David's ridiculous fight. Like, Will's was so cute. He's like, jacket to the face. And Jason was like, pillow to the face. And just any object that could obscure their view from this insanity.
I know it's hard with me being like a model.
It's not. And then Jordan tells David,
It's been a pleasure.
and Will's almost spits out his drink, and it is just so funny.
I'm a golden retriever. And so
Another great line from Jordan, he compared himself to a golden retriever. Said he'll just be sitting there, waiting for you, doing whatever you want him to do. Great. So Colton and Becca sit down, and look, you guys, I was shocked that Colton got the rose. Shocked. Were you? Tell me. He got the group date rose, and they kissed quite a lot. And I think, again, this just speaks to Becca's physical attraction to Colton. She said he's easy on the eyes. And I also think that it speaks to that you get so little time with the lead. You guys, you really do. I recently interviewed Dean Unglert. And he told me that on night one, he literally only got 90 seconds with Rachel Lindsay. I thought people were always exaggerating about that, but you get so little time, and so she's only basing her opinion of Colton on these very little moments she has. And in those moments, he's been sexy to her, and he's been honest to her. And so that's honesty. And you can't beat that, I guess, on this show. Anyway, also when Jordan was gesturing with his very red nails from the spa, I was really dying. Red rose nails.
What is going on?
Chris gets the one-on-one. Another surprise. The Jason surprise, the Colton Rose surprise, and the Chris surprise. Drink every time you're surprised. Who's Chris, right? And everybody, what a moment we had. Chris and Becca walk into the room, and he says something like,
We walk through the doors, and Richard Marx, a Grammy Award-winning artist, is sitting there playing the piano.
Nobody recognizes Richard Marx on sight. Nobody. I like Richard Marx's music, and I don't even know what he looks like.
Today, I'm going to help you write your love song.
So their date is to write songs, I think.
You brought out my smile on this rainy day, and tonight I want to hear more of what you have to say.
Becca's was cute. Chris's was full of too many multisyllabic words for a song. I think he said, like, evolution or envision, and, like, that's hard to rhyme with things other than vision.
When I first met you, you were humming behind me, but from here on out, I want you singing beside me.
And Becca's and Chris's lyrics were both just really poems. They were poems, weren't they?
So if we use what Becca wrote.
And luckily, Richard Marx swooped in to save the day and make them into songs because Richard Marx. Drink for Richard Marx. But since we just love Right Here Waiting for You so much, and since we didn't really vibe and jam with the songs they wrote, we have a special little tune of our own. Roses apart, day after day, the men slowly go insane. To win Becca's heart, they play all of the games, but fall out of bed in pain. They see her next to never, but trying to win forever. Wherever you go, whatever you do, Jordan will be right here waiting for you. Whatever it takes, or how his nose breaks, David will fight with Jordan too. Thank you, everyone. Tony nominee 2019. Me and JC. We'll be up there at the Tonys. What a dream it was for me, the inner musical theater geek in me. I always played a villain or a weirdo, though. Like in Annie, I was Miss Hannigan. In Alice in Wonderland, I was the Griffin. That's a bird. I wore a beak. Anyway, okay. Okay, so
I need Chris to be able to open up to me about why that was actually so difficult for him.
back to Becca and Chris's date. His story about his dad and getting rejected by his father and his family. I really liked him, and God, I know they say it a lot on this show, but I understand why they say be vulnerable. You don't have that much time with the person, and he knocked it out of the park. So good job, Chris. And thank God they swooped back in, and Richard Marx did perform Right Here Waiting for You, because we needed that, didn't we? Yeah, we needed it. Okay, and then things have taken a turn. Suddenly, David slumped on the floor. There's blood everywhere. Ambulance sirens are going. What's happened? We did not believe for a second that Jordan pushed David, you guys.
Hey.
Hi.
Chris Harrison comes in to tell Becca what happened, and the truth is that David fell out of his bunk bed.
Wait, what?
So it's a camp injury. I don't know. They said, I loved, again, credit to the producers. They didn't clean up the blood. They had shots of the blood in there still. And they said he was in the intensive care unit, but somehow he was able to just jump on a call real quick. So that's great, you know, conference him in. And he's like,
I mean, I'm so used to sleeping on a king-size bed.
which is just the most privileged sounding explanation. I don't think he meant it that way, but oh, David.
David proofed the beds.
As a reminder, David was the chicken suit guy, so what a journey he's had already on this show.
Chickens can't fly, and I think that we learned that last night.
Savage. I will say I'm surprised that it hasn't happened before. They all sleep in these bunk beds and have for years, so maybe a first for you, David.
So, I'm bringing out the big guns.
And then we have a group date with more sports, and I don't mean to sound like me, but God, there have been a lot of sports so far this season.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Becca Bowl.
Chris Harrison is announcing it with someone who's probably very famous in sports, and I think that Chris Harrison misses Bachelor Winter Games, and I do too, and so he wants to announce things. And he's great at it, so that's awesome. But we're on this sports date, and God, the irony of it is, injury number 2, Clay gets hurt. Clay Harbor, an actual football player, falls, and just like actual athletes do, instantly knows he's broken something, and he freaking did. And he had to leave after playing football. Is this like a contract issue or something? I don't know. You guys, I was sad to see him go because he was saying the most wonderful things. He said, quote, being a man
Is making hard choices
and tough decisions
and living with them.
and living with them. That's a fucking song lyric. Wherever you go. So a couple other shout outs. Blake really seemed to be on the struggle bus.
Blake called me his girlfriend tonight.
Really like Blake. There's a part of me, a big part of me, that's saying if they don't go all the way, Blake for Bachelor. I know it's so early to call this, you guys, but what do you think? I just think he's very well-spoken and sweet and smart, and after riding in on a horse and then an ox, he's turned out to be a surprisingly good dresser. I didn't see that coming, so I'm just saying. You guys, wherever you go, whatever you do, my Rosé and I will be right here waiting for you. And I want to thank you for being here with me and with JC on this big group date that will never involve football. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know what you thought of this episode. I always love to hear from you, and I will see you next week. I didn't drink much of this. It's hard at sparkling. Bye!